Oh, yeah. Is it Saturday already? Have we made it through yet another week of Star Wars news? Okay. This is quite a strange bit of news that came up just yesterday, that a deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith would have changed not only the storyline of Revenge of the Sith, but the character of Boba Fett forever. So let's talk about this. Daniel Logan, the actor who played young Boba Fett in the prequel trilogy, was promised from George Lucas, or I guess not really promised, but told by George Lucas that a arc in Revenge of the Sith would have changed a lot about that movie. Also, Andor Season 2 is in 2 months, and well, still no trailer. So without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Saturday afternoon? All right, what's up, chat? How's everybody doing? Yes, the live sign is still out. I have ordered a new one in the mail. It will be coming within the next couple weeks here. So we are going to be in the dark for quite some time. I blame you guys, the super chats. Keep the lights on. Memberships keep the lights on over here. And clearly we're struggling because the lights are off, okay? But there's one coming in the mail. So with that being said, let's talk about this. So, a deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith, a movie that is now 20 years old, chat, 20 years old, has a deleted scene that kind of would change how we look at that movie and how we look at the character of Boba Fett and Mace Windu. And this deleted scene, or idea of the deleted scene, would and could still become a reality in a possible Book of Boba Fett Season 2. And of course, Andor Season 2 is in 2 months, so we got to talk about that as well. But before we get to any of it, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? Okay. RG, what is up? Another Mike who loves Star Wars in the house. I Haja, how we doing? 50 Thunder in the house. Aaron, what is up? John Groom, how we doing? Holly, what is up? Brandon Baker in the house. Freddie, what is up? Nathan, how we doing? The Multiverse is Broken. What is up? Chris, how we doing? Ben in the house. Justin, what is up? 730 Evie, how we doing? Star Wars Order in the house. Fearless, what is up? Tony, how we doing? If I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, so let's talk about this deleted scene, because honestly, it might be something where fans really love the idea and it becomes a reality, much like Rosario Dawson being cast as Ahsoka Tano or any other sort of fan things that happened because of the fans, like Clone Wars Season 7. So I think the Star Wars fandom, like we were talking about last stream, or maybe 2 streams ago, I don't even know, when we were talking about the possibility of getting a Skeleton Crew Season 2, and the fact that the fandom, the Star Wars fans, have the power in their own hands to get a project like Skeleton Crew Season 2 greenlit. The same conversation that we had about Skeleton Crew can be had about this story, this deleted scene about Boba Fett and Mace Windu in a possible Book of Boba Fett Season 2. I know. The Book of Boba Fett is a very divided show when it comes to talking about whether it's good or not. People calling Boba Fett Beta Fett. They didn't like the fact that he's become now a ruler with respect on Tatooine. He's not the badass that we know and love from the original trilogy in the bounty hunting days of old. He went through a near-death experience, and that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother time. But the possibility of a Book of Boba Fett Season 2 didn't really seem likely until now. So before we get into this article, before we get into what Daniel Logan said, let's put up a poll in the chat. I want to see where you guys are at on this. Do you want a Book of Boba Fett Season 2? Tell me in the chat. Let's put up a poll. And if so, what do you want it to be about? Let's do this. Do you want a Book of Boba Fett Season 2? Yes or no? What do we think? In the world of Season 2s, where we're waiting patiently for this Andor Season 2 trailer, even though we are 2 months out, patiently waiting for this Andor Season 2 trailer. We were just talking about Ahsoka Season 2 a couple streams ago. In the world of Season 2s, Skeleton Crew Season 2, Andor Season 2, Ahsoka Season 2, possibly Kenobi Season 2, Boba Fett seems to be left out of the conversation. Now, we assume that Boba Fett's going to appear in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. But what if he doesn't? Is it possible that at Star Wars Celebration in less than 2 months, in April, we will be receiving an announcement for a Book of Boba Fett Season 2? Tell me what you think in the chat, and while you do, let's read this article, shall we? So the title of this article is a little bit misleading, clickbait, if you will, but we're going to read it anyway. So let's take a look at this. Star Wars actor says his career was ruined after George Lucas changed this huge detail. So again, a very clickbaity title. Daniel Logan's career ruined because of George Lucas. Oh my God. Okay, let's do this. So actually, let's zoom in a little bit here. There we go. That's better. Star Wars actor Daniel Logan has revealed that George Lucas changed a huge detail in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, after Samuel L. Jackson fought against it. Samuel L. Jackson fought against it. The New Zealand-born American actor now believes that the decision had a... What the hell? Are we good? Chat, my screen is literally... Okay, it's back. Are we still... Why did that... My left screen... I have two monitors. My left monitor just went completely black. Are we good, chat? I don't know what just happened. It turned off and turned back on. Are we still live? Yes? Yes? No? Maybe? We're good? Okay, good. Okay. Where was I? Oh, the New Zealand-born American actor, now believes that the decision had a detrimental impact on his career. Okay? So let's take a look at this. Daniel Logan played the young Boba Fett in 2002's Attack of the Clones, when his father, the bounty hunter Jango Fett, played by Tamara Morrison, is killed by Samuel L. Jackson's Jedi character Mace Windu. He slices off his head. If you don't remember, in the Battle of Geonosis, Mace Windu chops off Jango Fett's head. It's pretty badass. It establishes Mace Windu as a badass character and really gives Boba Fett that, I guess, redemption arc to go after the Jedi and become a bounty hunter and take over the mantle of his father and all that fun stuff. We see it in the Clone Wars play out a little bit, but George originally intended a lot of things that happened in the Clone Wars to happen in Revenge of the Sith. He just didn't have time to make a 7-hour movie. As much as we would love it, we didn't have time to make a 7-hour movie. So there's rumors that the original cut of Revenge of the Sith was well over 4.5 hours, and whether we would ever get to see that cut, probably not, but a lot of deleted scenes have leaked out over the years. This was more of a deleted idea than a scene. It would have been a scene, obviously, so it's a deleted scene, but it was never filmed, we'll put it that way. So, in Revenge of the Sith, released in 2005, Mace Windu is killed at the hands of the Emperor of the Galactic Empire. So Palpatine himself, Sheev Palpatine. Not a lot of fans know that that's his first name, but it is Sheev Palpatine. After Anakin Skywalker slices off his hand with a lightsaber, it leaves Palpatine clear to strike the Jedi Master with a fatal force blast of lightning. Easy for me to say. So this is, of course, how Mace Windu comes to an end. Palpatine, Force Lightning, Anakin, arm chopped off, all that fun stuff. He gets thrown out the window. Some fans think he's still alive. Somehow Mace Windu returned. What do we think, chat? Is Mace Windu still alive? Tell me in the chat. Okay, but in all seriousness, we have a what if. Sorry, hang on. Losing my voice. Okay, let's not do that. So we have a what if coming out tomorrow. Big, big, big. So I think I'm going to do it at 1 p.m. or noon Eastern Standard Time. So watch out for that. A what if coming out tomorrow of what if Mace Windu killed Palpatine. So watch out for that. But this is sort of the exact scene I've been editing around for the last 2 weeks. So this scene I know very, very well at this point. But yes, I can confirm that Mace Windu does get his arm chopped off and gets electrocuted by Palpatine and gets force pushed into the Coruscant night. So whether he survived that, well, that's up to a lot of fans' interpretation, I guess. I believe that he did not. Now, I know a lot of fans really, really want to see Mace Windu live. It would be fun. But my reason for this, my reason for believing that Mace, we're going to get completely sidetracked. We'll get back to what Daniel Logan said, but let's go. Let's talk about Mace Windu and possibly surviving this because it's important. So, could Mace Windu have survived the fall? Yes, I do believe he could have survived the fall. His arm got chopped off. We've seen many characters' arms get chopped off. Anakin Skywalker's arm got chopped off in Attack of the Clones. But although I do believe that Mace Windu could have survived that fall, I don't think he's alive because if he was, he would have shown up by now. That's the biggest issue. If he survived that fall, now, 20 years later, the question becomes, where is he? You can explain why he wasn't in the original trilogy, I guess, but you have so much other content that he hasn't been in yet. He wasn't in the Bad Batch, he wasn't in Rebels, he wasn't in Kenobi, he wasn't in Andor, Rogue One, Solo, Mando Season 1, 2, 3, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, any of it. He's not in any of it. So although I do believe that a Jedi character of the strength and ability of Mace Windu could have survived that fall even after getting his arm chopped off, I don't think he survived because of his lack of appearances in other projects. And until I'm proven otherwise, and until they bring him back, then I'm going to stay on that track. But tell me in the chat, do you think Mace Windu survived? Okay, let's do this. Let's get back to this article, shall we? But Daniel Logan says it could and should have been very different according to creator George Lucas's original plans, as he says this. He should have been taken care of, and it should have been by me, Boba Fett, that is. Because the Emperor, I don't think, did that good of a job. Pretty funny. Logan during a spotlight panel at GalaxyCon in Richmond, according to the Pop Verse, as he said this. Darth Maul has come back to life so many times, and he was chopped in half like 4 times. A little bit of an over-exaggeration, but yes, Darth Maul was chopped in half and did end up surviving. The actor reveals that he was due to return in the 2005 film, but was dropped at the last minute. So we would have gotten a whole Boba Fett arc in Revenge of the Sith. Again, if this movie was going to be like 5 hours long. But he continues. George Lucas held me for Revenge of the Sith, and we had a Revenge of, but they hadn't finished the title. I believe that this was probably going to be Revenge of the Fett. A little bit of a joke there, but because the storyline, which you can go and see online, there was storyboards for it already created, that Boba Fett was meant to have another arena scene with Mace Windu. So Mace was not going to die at the hands of the Emperor, of Anakin and Palpatine, but at the hands of Boba Fett. The son of the guy who he chopped his head off. This is pretty interesting. Obviously, Star Wars movies go in a lot of different iterations along the way. Clearly, you have arcs like this that really get cut from the movie, or for one reason or another, don't make it. But this is huge. This is not just some random character possibly showing up in a show or a movie. This is Boba Fett, a legacy character, killing Mace Windu instead of Anakin and Palpatine. Padme would have been hilarious. Anakin and Palpatine. That's huge. Now, George Lucas did go back eventually with the Clone Wars animated show and try to fix this problem, I guess, or fix this mistake, if you will. And he had Boba Fett attempt to kill Mace Windu multiple times. Me and Samantha actually just watched this in season 2 of the Clone Wars, where Boba Fett and some other bounty hunters try to kill Mace Windu. And they're pretty damn close to doing so, blowing up the ship that he was on, and he barely survives. Multiple times, actually. So he did eventually go back and rework this story. However, at one point, there was going to be a Boba Fett kills Mace Windu scene in Revenge of the Sith. The revenge of the Sith, of course, Palpatine, but also the revenge of Boba Fett. The revenge for his father in killing Mace Windu. What do we think about this, chat? Would this have been a better end for Mace Windu? And would this have been a better arc for Boba Fett? Boba Fett is not in the Revenge of the Sith, obviously. You watched the movie a million times. He's not in it. However, Boba Fett is in the Clone Wars. He's now in the Mandoverse. Of course, he's in the original trilogy. That's where he first appears. But he's this legacy character. Should he have been in Revenge of the Sith? Striking revenge on the man who killed his father, Mace Windu? What do we think? Boba Fett would have been too young at the time. Well, he's also too young in the Clone Wars when he does it too. Yeah, now. Shiv, what's up?
Hello there.
So the question becomes, would this have been a better ending for Mace Windu? And would it have been a great arc for Boba Fett? Because without Mace Windu dying to Palpatine, without him being the catalyst or the last piece to the puzzle, I guess, for Anakin's fall to the dark side, then does the movie still work? How would Anakin still fall to the dark side if not by physically chopping off Mace Windu's arm, turning on the Jedi, and saving the man who promises to save his wife? That would be a very different movie. A very, very different movie. I don't know how they go about it. I don't know how they do it. But if Boba Fett was the one to kill Mace Windu, it would be a completely different movie. And this was not just some fan theory, fan whatever. This is straight from the source. This is straight from George frickin' Lucas himself. But let's keep reading. The storyboards that he is referring to feature in Star Wars Insider number 85, and the making of Revenge of the Sith, the making of Revenge of the Sith book. The storyline would have seen Boba Fett kill Mace Windu, but George Lucas later changed his mind, and Daniel Logan says it's because Samuel L. Jackson intervened. This is where things get interesting. Mace Windu is going to come at Boba Fett like he did with Jango. But because Boba has already experienced beforehand what happened to his father, I hit the jetpack, I fly upside down on my back, he explained. As I'm flying on my back with the jetpack along the ground, I pull out Jango's blasters and I shoot him right between the stomach. And that's how Mace Windu is meant to die. I was sitting there at Lucasfilm and they're like, okay, we are holding you for a year. And I was like, okay. And I kept calling, is it my turn yet? Is it my turn? He explains. At this point, Samuel L. Jackson interjects. Sam Jackson went to George Lucas's office and says, I don't think that this young kid should have the power to be able to kill someone who sits on the Jedi Council. And plus, I don't want to be killed by no punk kid. I happen to be that punk kid. I don't know if he said that word for word, but he has a point. Is a young Boba Fett capable of killing Mace Windu? Now, there's obviously circumstances where Jedi people get the upper hand or whatever it may be. But would it be believable if Boba Fett was the one who killed Mace Windu? Now, maybe you say he's too young, and maybe you're right. But this brings up the opportunity. This brings up the possibility of seeing this arc that George Lucas once intended to be in Revenge of the Sith played out, 30 years later, in a possible Book of Boba Fett Season 2. So for all of you out there that want, hope, and pray that Mace Windu survived the fall, here's your opportunity. The arc that George Lucas intended to be in Episode 3 can be brought back in a Book of Boba Fett Season 2. Think about it. Think about the fan reaction of how insane a Book of Boba Fett Season 2 would be if it was announced at Star Wars Celebration that Samuel L. Jackson would be returning as Mace Windu. For the second season. What the hell was that, chat? I guess I was turning this the wrong way at the beginning of the thing. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, chat. Don't you know? That was scary. You know, I thought my head was going to get chopped off, much like Jango Fett's. I thought Samuel L. Jackson heard us talking about this and got mad about it. Okay, I think we fixed it. Would that not be insane? Just gonna hold my hands up like this the rest of the show. Would that not be incredible? Would that not be what you want, chat? Would that not be what Star Wars fans have been waiting for this whole entire frickin' time? Is Mace Windu's return, and not only that, but Boba Fett the one who kills him? For real this time? How crazy would that be? The Force works over the internet. Did somebody do that? Did somebody make that happen? Guess we need to buy more equipment. Yeah, we're falling apart over here. The lack of super chats, lack of member. The lights are turning off. Everything's going wrong. I blame you, chat. I blame you. I don't know. However, is it possible? Let's just say, is it possible for Mace Windu to somehow return, survive the fall, have lasted through the time period of the Empire, past the original trilogy, and appear in a Book of Boba Fett Season 2? As Boba strikes his revenge, finally, for his father. What do we think, Chad? Would be amazing. Interesting. Imagine the Vespa Gang mod Mace Windu's wheelchair. Okay, now we're talking. Or what if Mace Windu came in and killed all the Vespa Gang? Oh, now we're talking even more. Didn't Boba Fett sort of get a redemption arc in Season 1? I mean, kind of. Not fully, but kind of. Yeah. All right, but let's finish this off because this is where Daniel Logan goes into his career being ruined because of this. All right, let's finish off the article before we keep going. Logan hints that Samuel L. Jackson's decision to knock on affects the rest of his own career, as he says this. If you're going to ruin my career on that part, you could have at least given me an opportunity in the Marvel series, the Marvel movies, that is, of course. Hey, kid, sorry you didn't kill me in that, but you could be my friend and, maybe Iron Man or something else. Would be pretty cool. The actor did not return for any more films, but did voice Boba Fett in the Clone Wars animated series and did appear in archival footage in the Book of Boba Fett Season 1, which was when we sort of got the flashbacks to Kamino in that first season of the Book of Boba Fett. So the question remains, should Mace Windu have survived the fall? And would it be too crazy to bring him back for a Book of Boba Fett Season 2? What do we think, Chad? What do we think? And even with that, do you want a second season of the Book of Boba Fett? As actually 69%, nice, 69% of you guys do say that you do want a Book of Boba Fett Season 2. But tell me what you think in the chat. Speaking of super chats, Darth Plagueis lives with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that, Darth Plagueis. I really, really do. Says, Book of Boba Fett Season 2 with Mace would break the internet. I agree with that. And also, where is the trailer? We'll get to the Andor Season 2 trailer in a little bit and where it is. Yeah, I mean... It's getting a little crazy over here. It's getting a little crazy, the fact that we haven't seen an Andor Season 2 trailer yet, and I'm getting a little bit concerned. Not a lot, but concerned. Just a little bit. But going back to your first part, yes, it would break the internet. If they walked out on stage with Samuel L. Jackson announcing the Book of Boba Fett Season 2, it would break the internet. It would literally break the internet. Not only would it be on the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, the 20th anniversary of when his character died on Coruscant, but it would allow fans the idea, the speculation, the what ifs of how the bleepity bleep did Mace Windu survive all this time? And where has he been? What has he done? Why has he not helped out? It would be interesting. It would be quite interesting. How old would he be? That's a great question, actually. Let's see. How old is Mace Windu when he dies? Mace Windu is 53 years old when he dies, and that is 19 BBY. So we're talking about maybe 30 years later. Just about, maybe a little less. So you're talking about 80. He'd be 80. 80 years old. Well, how old is Sam Jackson? Samuel L. Jackson is 76, so he'd be playing close to his own age. It would be pretty similar, you know? Yeah. But I appreciate the super chat, Darth Plagueis. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships, keep the lights on over here. Oh, and if you are not yet a member, I think this week actually is the last stream of the month. Maybe next week, I'm not too sure. But every last stream of the month, we do a giveaway. Every Sunday, we're doing Andor watch parties for the members, and there's members-only portions of the Discord. You get that cool little thing next to your name in the chat. You get a bunch of cool stuff. Become a member of the people who love Star Wars. I don't know. I have to make that pitch every once in a while. Okay. Justin says, Mike, I tagged you in the Discord. Tony Gilroy may have a future at Lucasfilm. Hang on. I got to check this out. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You tagged me in the Discord? I do not see such a thing. You might have to do it again. You might have to do it again. I'm not seeing it. Okay. I am weary of the Andor Season 2 trailer because it might give too much away. Interesting. There is so many surprises that can be happening for us in this time period that they are covering. True, but with Star Wars has been around for a long time now. They've been on Disney Plus for about 6 years now, so they're used to this. This is not their first rodeo of not giving too much away in trailers. Think about The Mandalorian Season 2, first of all, or even The Mandalorian Season 1. There's not a single trailer that has Grogu in it. He's a main character from Episode 1 on. But Season 2 of The Mandalorian, the trailers, the media, the marketing doesn't show Ahsoka, doesn't show Bo-Katan, doesn't show Luke, doesn't show Boba Fett. It doesn't show any of that. And still you got hyped up for the show. So even though there's, I'm assuming, a lot of surprises coming our way in Andor Season 2, I don't think that they will reveal those in the trailers. Yeah. 50 Thunder says, didn't Mace fall out the building on Coruscant? That takes place, that place is over 5,000 levels high. The poor guy probably is still falling. Funny. Yes and no. I mean, have characters survived that fall before? Yes, under a lot worse injuries. Darth Maul specifically got chopped in half and survived a fall of that magnitude too. And he's on Coruscant. He literally could have fallen like 20 feet and then hit a passing by ship. Like there's very easy ways to explain how he survived. The fact is, when he got thrown out the window, he was still alive. So the only thing that would kill him is the impact of hitting the ground. Because when he gets thrown out the window, you hear him go, ugh! You know? He's like, ugh! He goes, ugh! He's getting electrocuted. He's like, ugh! You know? So he's still alive when he gets thrown. It's a matter of, did he survive the fall? And there's a lot of ways to go around it. That's not my concern. That's not the concern. My concern is, how do you explain where he's been this entire time? How does Mace Windu, one of the most powerful Jedi of all time, not come to help the heroes? I guess you could argue that Yoda didn't either, but in a way he did. He helps train Luke. Obi-Wan sent him there, but even still, he helps train Luke in Empire and Return of the Jedi. But to have Mace Windu be sort of gone for all this time, he would have to have some sort of crazy story on his own. Would he just go into hiding like Yoda did and just not help out at all? It'd be pretty interesting. Well, here's the argument, actually. Mace has pretty strong opinions, let's say, about the Skywalker boys. Of course, he already had his very strong opinions about Anakin, and then he chopped off his arm and caused to his death. So that would be a pretty big dilemma and a pretty big argument to be had against liking the Skywalkers, obviously. So Mace has sort of a point to not like Anakin, to not help Luke, to not help in any way. Just stay an old hermit wherever he may be. It would be very interesting. It could be very cool. Like, you could go down a bunch of different rabbit holes and do a bunch of different really, really cool things. Think about it this way. The Dawn of the Jedi movie, I know, has no connection, right? Maybe not. The Dawn of the Jedi movie is, of course, going to take place 25,000 years before everything. Tell us about the first Jedi, tell us about the first lightsabers, all that stuff. But it could be that we see a bunch of familiar places in that movie. Tython, the Seeing Stone that we saw in Mando Season 2. Maybe Octu, because it's the first Jedi temple ever created. All that fun stuff. The sacred text being written. We could see those places, and then maybe, just maybe, Mace Windu could go to one of those places to go into hiding, or something along those lines. It'd be pretty cool. Indeed, it would. 50 Thunder with a very generous $5 holla. Damn, I appreciate that, 50 Thunder. I really, really do. Says, I think it would be fitting to do an impression of Mace Windu's last scream. Love the work you do, Mike. Well, I appreciate that, 50 Thunder, and I hope you appreciate the What If that's coming out tomorrow, because this is like 3 weeks in the making here, so I hope it comes out to your liking. But let's do that. Even though I just gave my great impressions of it, let's do an actual one. Okay, let's do this. Mace Windu death scene. Here we go.
I need him. Please, no.
So yeah, this is sort of the end for Mace. But when we look at this, first of all, it focuses on his lightsaber falling first. Maybe his lightsaber could show up some point. I don't know. But when you look at this, yes, he's going to fall all the way down there and likely not survive. But you see all these ships going by? Boom, 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 boom. There's millions of them. He could have hit any one of those. We've seen people fall from the Coruscant sky quite a lot. Yeah. Power! Okay, hang on. Let's get to when he falls. Right there. Did you hear it? Did you catch it, Chad? He's like, it's more like a, sounds like he's throwing up. Okay, but this, for the last 20 years, has left Star Wars fans going, he could have survived this because he's alive when he gets thrown out the window. That little is all just to keep fans hoping. Keep fans on the edge of their seats, speculating, making theories, making what ifs, making stories about what if he survived? What if he survived? And the question now becomes, well, did he? Did he survive? Tell me what you think, chat. Tell me what you think. And I appreciate it, 50 Thunder. I really, really do. Member chats. Super chats keep the lights on over here, so I appreciate it. Okay. Another Mike who loves Star Wars with a very generous $2 holla. I appreciate that quite a bit. Says, impression of Wilhelm Stormtrooper death cry. Yes, I could do that. Stormtrooper. Whoops. Why is it not typing? Stormtrooper. Wilhelm. How do you spell that? Wilhelm scream. There it is. I found it. So if you don't know the story about this, Wilhelm, I believe it was from, I don't know what movie specifically, somebody help me on the chat, but there was this movie, this old Western, I believe it was a Western. Yeah, it's a cowboy movie, where Wilhelm makes this scream. And that scream can be heard across cinema for the last, I don't know, 50 plus years. So this is the scream, and it's in Star Wars quite a bit, actually, too. And it goes a little something like this. I don't know. It's pretty hard to recreate. It's quite the scream, if I might add. Oh my God. Jordan Rennie in the house. What's up, Jordan? With a very generous $50 holler. Are you absolutely insane, Jordan? Have you lost your goddamn mind? I appreciate it. And he says, unlimited power. Evening all. I appreciate that, Jordan. I appreciate it quite a bit. That's very, very generous. Super chats, memberships keep the lights on. Maybe, Jordan, you will turn this light on somehow. Probably not, though. Okay. But let's talk about it. So let's actually put up a poll, because this one hasn't really changed much. So 75% of you guys say you do want a Book of Boba Fett Season 2. Interesting. Now, let's see how many of you think that Mace Windu could have survived the fall. Do you think, or do you, think Mace Windu could have survived? Yes or no? Do you think that Mace Windu could have survived the fall? Wilhelm Scream started in 1951. Nice. There you go. From Distant Drums. Okay, cool. I actually didn't know that. You learn something new every day. Jordan Rennie with a very generous $5 holla says, hopefully this will fix the lights. Well, Jordan, it will not fix the lights today, but it will definitely help with replacing the lights. So I appreciate it. Yeah. The math did not math today. The math never maths, but yeah, it's crazy. The Wilhelm Scream is heard in the Sarlacc pit too. Yes, it is. Indeed, it is. The Wilhelm Scream is more prevalent in Star Wars than I got a bad feeling about this. I don't know about that.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I think that one's a little bit more iconic. Are there any Star Wars projects that have excluded the scream? Sorry. I'm picking it up in series and movies I've never heard before. I don't know if it's in every movie and show. I actually don't. I can't, like, off the top of my head think of when it would be in The Mandalorian or anything like that. But in the chat, tell me, could Mace have survived the fall on Coruscant? And if so, because I think he could have, given the evidence of he's still alive when he falls, where he goes, ugh, falling out the window, and the fact that we've seen Jedi or just characters in general in Star Wars survive a fall of that length. And he got his arm chopped off, sure. So did Anakin. Luke, it's less the arm, more just the hand. But even still, Luke got his hand chopped off. There's a lot that can be said about how he could have survived the fall. And that I'm open to. That I am open to. But it's a question of how will they play it out? Will it be a Book of Boba Fett Season 2, where they explain how he returned and explain how he dies again? And Boba Fett finally gets the redemption that was deleted from the Revenge of the Sith original screenplay. Let's put it this way. Daniel Logan says that this would have changed the entire movie, which I think he's completely right about, because it would have. I mean, Mace Windu's death is so important to Anakin's fall to the dark side. It's so important to the Empire rising and the Jedi falling. But if Boba Fett killed him, then how would this whole thing have played out differently? You know? Darth Cat, what's up? Somehow Mace Windu returns. A man could dream. I feel like so many fans have been on board that theory for the last 20 years. But, yeah. Family Guy used it too, the Wilhelm scream? I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I hope you liked the setup, softball across the plate, where you're spot on with I got a bad feeling about this. Maybe this is where the fun begins. Maybe it's where the fun begins. I don't know. Is this where the fun begins?
This is where the fun begins.
I'm liking this. I'm liking it. Okay. Somehow the Book of Boba Fett returned. Okay, so let's talk about this. The Book of Boba Fett is obviously met with a lot of criticism across the Star Wars fandom. Some of it deservingly so, some not so much. I gotta clear the air with my take on this Book of Boba Fett situation. It gets way too much hate. Personally, I loved it. I think From the Desert Comes a Stranger, which granted only has about 2 seconds of Boba Fett screen time in his own show. I get that. But even still, that episode is one of, if not the greatest, I think it's one of, but some people think it's the best, the greatest episodes of Star Wars television we've ever received. From the Desert Comes a Stranger, episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett, gives us Luke training Grogu, gives us Order 66 flashbacks, give us Anakin's Padawan and son, Ahsoka Tano and Luke Skywalker, respectively. An interaction together, we'll put it that way. It gives you Din Djarin in his N1 starfighter. It gives you Cad Bane for the first time ever in live action, gunning down Cobb Vanth and his deputy or whatever, whoever that is. It is one of the best single episodes of Disney Star Wars, or of any Disney Plus Star Wars show, that we've ever received. It just so happens that Boba Fett's barely in the episode, but it's still in the Book of Boba Fett. Now, some people call it Mando Season 2.5. That doesn't matter. It's still good. And going back to the Book of Boba Fett of it all, a lot of the issues with that show is that he's Beta Fett. He's Beta Fett. He's not the Boba Fett that we know and love from Legends. Now, I think, here's the deal. A lot of issues that come up with Boba Fett is that fans have sort of, for the last 40 years, come up with this character in their head. Now, maybe that's because of Legends, because there's a bunch of Legend stories that involve Boba Fett, or it's because of just the fact that he's a badass bounty hunter, and fans just think of him as a badass bounty hunter and have come up with these stories in their heads for all these years of how cool and badass that character is. In the original trilogy, his screen time is very little. I believe he only has like 4 lines, something like that, 3 or 4 lines. So he has a very, very small role. I think what happened, as us Star Wars fans do, is we got really, really excited about this new character. And what happened is fans got so many different ideas for what this character should be. And when he was brought back, well, first of all, he was brought back in The Mandalorian Season 2, and nobody had a problem with that because he was badass. He was crushing stormtrooper skulls and all that stuff. But it's the experience that he went through that fans just sort of don't acknowledge. He had a near-death experience where he falls into the Sarlacc pit to die. The only reason he survives is because he finds that oxygen tank on the stormtrooper and because of his armor. If he wasn't in Beskar armor and he didn't find that oxygen tank, he's dead. He is dead in the Sarlacc pit. But he survives. Barely. And when he survives, he gets found by Tusken Raiders, where he lives for 5 years. 5 years with the Tusken Raiders. 5 years. And he learns quite a bit about family and the people and of Tatooine. He grows a respect for Tatooine. He becomes one of the one of the Tusken Raiders, pretty much. He becomes a member of the clan, helping them take down the Pike's train that just goes through the desert, all that crazy stuff. He becomes a Tusken and becomes a part of the family. He's a family man now. So when years later, those Tusken Raiders are killed by Bib Fortuna's people, I guess, right? It's not Jabba's people. So Bib Fortuna's people, right? So when his people are killed by Bib Fortuna's people all those years later, and he comes back in the Book of Boba Fett, in The Mandalorian Season 2 to get his armor back, he then goes and kills Bib Fortuna for what he did to his family, and then he wants to rule over Tatooine so nothing like that happens again. Does that not, make sense and sound cool? I get it. We want to see Boba Fett be all badass all the time. And I agree with you. The Vespa Gang was a disaster. I agree with you. But I disagree to say that Boba Fett is a bad show. Because it's not. It's got a lot of aspects of a great show, and it misses in some points. But even the Tusken Raider stuff, even the hijacking of the train and all that cool stuff, it's still really great. The finale, I think, maybe a little bit of a letdown. I thought the Cad Bane and Boba Fett stuff was great, but to bring Cad Bane into live action for 2 seconds and then kill him, well, he could still be alive. But even still, I think it's a quality show. Not the best, but very, very good. Now, should it get a second season? Well, think about it this way. The Book of Boba Fett aired in what, 2021? 2021, 2022? What was it, chat? Somebody help me out. When did the Book of Boba Fett come out? I think it was the end of 2021 into 2022. But I could be wrong. Okay. Yeah. So it's been at least 3 years since we've seen the character of Boba Fett. Because he's not in The Mandalorian Season 3. He's not in Ahsoka. He's not in Skeleton Crew. So it's been 3 years since we've seen Boba Fett. And the last sort of taste of Boba Fett that is left in fans' mouths is that Book of Boba Fett Season 1. And fans, well, they have their very strong opinions about that first season of the Book of Boba Fett, as we just talked about. So with that being said, Star Wars Celebration is in 2 months. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie is in 1 year. Where does Boba show up next? In the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Possibly. Hopefully. But is it possible that the Book of Boba Fett will get a second season? It was never like The Acolyte where it got canceled for a second season. It's clearly set up for more story to be told with those characters. Think about it this way. Boba Fett, Chrysanthemum, Fennec Shand, the Vespa Gang, they're all now in control of Tatooine. But that's not going to remain the same. And this is where the leaks for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie come into play with the Hutts and Rada the Hutt and the twin Hutts from the Book of Boba Fett Season 1, all trying to, I guess, struggle for control of the underworld. That's going to put or bring, hopefully, Boba Fett and the rest of his crew into play in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. But does it warrant a second season? Do we want more of the character of Boba Fett? Here's the deal. For a lot of fans, that might not be the Boba Fett that they know and love, but Tamara Morrison has been very vocal about wanting to go back to the badassery of Boba Fett. There's some aspects of badass Boba in that Book of Boba Fett Season 1, when he's jetpacking around in the finale with Din Djarin, when he's riding the Rancor, when he's killing Cad Bane, when he's in the Slave One gunning down the speeder guys who killed his family. Like all that is badass Boba. There's plenty of it in the show. But we need more. Is more not the answer here? It's pretty interesting to me that only 75% of you guys said you do want a Book of Boba Fett Season 2. By the way, 69% of you, nice, do think that Mace Windu could have survived the fall. Interesting. Jordan Rennie with a very generous $10 holla. I appreciate it, Jordan. I really, really do. You are extremely generous. says, only way I think it should get a second season is if Mace Windu is alive. Just my personal opinion. Okay, so that brings up the question of what would a Book of Boba Fett season 2 be about? And I agree with you. I think the only way to sort of regain fans' trust in a way, or yeah, I guess regain their trust, would be to give something crazy. And the craziness would be Mace Windu survived. Or what I think the first season should have been about is the Crimson Dawn. The Crimson Dawn was established in the Clone Wars and all that, but it was really established in the Solo movie with Kira and what was his name? Dryden? Was it Dryden? I don't know. Somebody help me out in the chat. But with Kira and Darth Maul and all that stuff. So the Crimson Dawn, because it's the underworld, because you're working with the Hutts, you're working with the Pikes, you're working with all these other syndicates, the Crimson Dawn could play a big role in a possible second season. And I think bringing back Kira, what's the actress's name who plays Kira? She's from Game of Thrones. She's the queen of the dragons. What the hell's her name? Yeah, it's Dryden. I was right, Dryden Voss. Okay, but who now we need I need more help. Okay, but her, she could be coming back to play Kira in live action for the first time since the Solo movie, which, by the way, ended in this massive cliffhanger of her going to train with Darth frickin' Maul. So you'd have Kira returning with training from Darth Maul, and then you'd have to get her 1v1ing Boba Fett in some badass battle. So there are a few different ways that you could go down in terms of a story for a Book of Boba Fett Season 2. And now Jordan and myself have given you two incredible ones. Would you not want to see a Boba Fett versus Mace Windu? Or a Boba Fett versus Kira, who was once trained by Darth fricking Maul? Obviously, she doesn't have the Force, but that makes it even more competitive because Boba Fett doesn't have the Force either. And there's one key detail that would be extremely important to a Book of Boba Fett Season 2. Can anybody guess what I'm thinking of here? Amelia Clark, thank you. The actress's name was Amelia Clark. Can anybody guess what I'm thinking of here? For a Book of Boba Fett Season 2, this one character that has to, not could or should, it has to show up. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Do you know who I am talking about, chat? Oh, Master Beckham, what is up with a very generous $10 holla, Beckham? I appreciate that quite a bit. Says, hey, Mike, thanks for all that you do. No, Beckham, thanks for all that you do. I don't do nothing. I sit here, I turn on a camera, I can't even turn on the lights, and I just talk about Star Wars. Thank you for what you do. God. But, he says, I wanted to ask you your thoughts on Rada the Hutt and what part he will play in the Mando and Baby Grogu, not Yoda, movie. Honestly, it's a little strange. When I first got the news, I was quite upset about it, not going to lie. I was like, why are they rewriting the Clone Wars movie? What is going on? This is very, very stupid. But then I sat back, took a step back, and I said, hang on. This is Dave Filoni. This is Jon Favreau. This is who we trust. And they've done this before. They've brought back characters before. Mando Season 3, one of the main characters, I guess, is R5. The droid that had a bad motivator. Like, they bring back these characters in cool ways. Characters from the time of the original trilogy or the Clone Wars, and do it in really, really cool ways. So, bringing back Rada the Hutt, especially with the newer leaks that say that he could be a gladiator, fighting like Thor and the Hulk in Thor Ragnarok, that would be pretty awesome. That would be insane. So, yeah, that would be awesome, but I don't know. Rada the Hutt's a very, very interesting pull to make a character in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. It's just very weird. It seems so out of place in what they've been setting up with Thrawn in the Heir to the Empire. It's weird. It's weird. Maybe it's just a place to kick off, like we've talked about before. It's just a place to kick us off into the movie, but who knows? But I appreciate the super chat, Master Beckham. I really, really do. And the reason I call him Master Beckham is because he was the first ever master to tier for members on the channel. So he's no longer Mr. Beckham. He's been Master Beckham for quite some time. Okay, but I appreciate it. Dr. Aphra showing up in the Book of Boba Fett. Not who I was thinking of, but would be pretty cool. Dr. Aphra has not made her sort of live action debut ever. Yes. So I see Cad Bane, no. Dengar, maybe, but no. And it's Omega. It's Omega. If there's going to be a Book of Boba Fett Season 2, which I hope there is now, Omega is the character. She has to be. She has to be. They've set up, think about it this way. The Bad Batch never had to happen. I think the Bad Batch happened for 2 reasons and 2 reasons only. One, to set up Mount Tantus, because Grand Admiral Thrawn for damn sure will be going to Mount Tantus. They kept it intact at the end of Season 3. There's no way they're not going to do that. And 2, Omega. They set up this main character that didn't even exist in the Clone Wars Season 7 when the Bad Batch were announced or shown to us. Omega is the key to all of it. When you really think about it, she is the only one who has the ability to transfer midichlorians. So the only way that Palpatine could have survived, the only way that Palpatine could have returned, somehow Palpatine returned, it's Omega. She's the key. And now we've learned that she is the only other unaltered clone and sister to Boba Fett. So if there's a Book of Boba Fett Season 2, Omega has to be in it. Has to be. Now, of course, we've talked about this before, but it's still really, really funny, and I want to bring it up again. Omega in live action. There's only one way that she should look, and it is like this. This is the only way that Omega should look in live action. Tamara Morrison puts on a blonde wig, and that's it. That's all we need. That's all we need, chat. That is all we need. So if Book of Boba Fett Season 2 is truly going to be announced at Star Wars Celebration, if we are really going to get what should happen, because think about it this way. If Din and Grogu are going back to the big screen, or going to the big screen for a long time, and they're probably unlikely to be coming back for Mando Season 4, especially if you're going to get a Mando trilogy, then what's going to be the Disney Plus shows? You got Ahsoka Season 2, which is good. That'll hold you over for a little bit. Skeleton Crew doesn't have a second season. Now we can hope and pray that it does get one, but it doesn't have one yet. Could be announced at Star Wars Celebration, but who knows? So what's going to fill the gap in between the Mando movies other than Ahsoka Season 2? Well, the Book of Boba Fett Season 2 would be pretty damn good. Would be pretty damn good. Yeah. But that's what Omega has to look like if she's going to be in live action. Oh, Jordan Rennie with another very generous $5 hollow. Holy crap, says, who would you cast as Omega? Oh, sorry. Who would I cast as Omega? Well, there's only one answer, like we just talked about, and that is Tamara Morrison. Come on, Mike, that's stupid. Okay, it's a joke. Can't a man just joke around? Yeah, no. Who would I actually cast as Omega? I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not good at casting people. I don't know actors and actresses. Cast me as Omega. I'll do Omega. I'll do it. But I appreciate it, Jordan. I really, really do. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships, keep the lights on over here. Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys have any fan casts for Omega? Anybody? Another Mike who loves Star Wars says, Dave Filoni is a genius when it comes to laying down the foundation for things to come and tying in previous lore to and Legends content into canon. Could we have envisioned a better creative content executive? No. Well, here's the thing. Dave Filoni we trust, of course. But I still think that not the Book of Boba Fett, sorry, the Bad Batch was set up to set things up. It sets up Mount Tantus, it sets up Omega, it sets up the Zillo Beast, it sets up Project Necromancer, it sets up all that stuff. And that's for a payoff in the future. And I believe Dave Filoni himself has even talked about this before. You know? I'll send you an image of what Omega really should look like on your Twitter. Go for it. I'll check it out. But that's what I'm thinking too. Like, Dave Filoni is setting something massive up. Now, is he setting it up for his own movie? Probably. Grand Admiral Thrawn going back to Mount Tantus, maybe finding the Zillo Beast, maybe hanging out with, I don't know, helping out with Project Necromancer. We saw the Shadow Council. We know that members of the Shadow Council will be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So a lot of how Palpatine returned will be explained in the Mandalorian movies, at least alluded to. But the Bad Batch, which takes place 30 some odd years before this, or the Mandoverse, did a lot of explaining. Omega is the key to what Palpatine is trying to accomplish. You know? Alex says, I'm just a simple blonde trying to make my way in the universe. Omega Fett. That's pretty good. That's pretty fun. That's pretty funny. One person isn't asking anything of others, while the others is. What? I don't know what that means, but yes. There's also art of Omega in live action format from Galaxy of Heroes. Oh, the game? I enjoy that version and think others would if they find an actress that looks close to the Galaxy of Heroes version. Okay. Might have to check that out. How old would Omega be in the Book of Boba Fett Season 2? Well, she'd be, I don't know, only like 5 to 10 years older than where she was at the end of Bad Batch Season 3. At the end of the epilogue, that's sort of the time of the rebellion. That's the time of the original trilogy. So she's a lot older by that point. A lot older. Yeah. I don't know. How old is she during the Bad Batch? Same age as Hera. Yeah, you're right. She'd be close to the same age as Hera. UV Clips. You're absolutely right. So Hera Syndulla, we saw in Ahsoka Season 1, she'd be around that same age. Probably in her 30s, maybe 40s at most. Yeah. She'd be younger than Boba Fett. Yeah. Lord Lowry says, how did you like Star Wars Outlaws? I loved it. The coolest part about Star Wars Outlaws, and what really just doesn't make any sense to me, is it's an open world Star Wars game. Think about it this way. Now, it's not all the Star Wars planets because there's so many of them, but Tatooine is one of them. That's pretty damn cool. I mean, Kajimi's one of them. Canto Bight is one of them. I'm forgetting a bunch of them, but even just Tatooine itself. The fact that you can go across all of Tatooine to all your favorite places. Jabba's palace, the cantina, Luke's house, the Lars homestead. I mean, all these different places in an open world game. The biggest complaint about the game was that you couldn't customize the character of Kay Vess. And I agree with you. I think you should be able to customize your own character like GTA or whatever it is. But even still, the story that is told in the story mode of Kay Vess is a good one. You get Vader, you get crime syndicates, you get all this cool stuff. It's a really fun game. I don't understand why people crapped on it so much. I really don't. But what are you going to do? I will say it should have like an online portion of it. It should be like GTA. They should make a Star Wars GTA where you have a story mode that's really, really good and play it out and well. But then you have an online version where you can play, roam around in the open worldedness of a Star Wars planet, maybe Tatooine, maybe Coruscant, whatever it may be. And you can do it with your friends online, go on missions, go on bounty hunting missions, go on all this cool stuff. Like, that would be insane. That would be so cool. Yeah. One of the coolest parts of Outlaws, I think, was the droid wearing the overcoat. Yeah, the what are they called? The assassin droids? No, what are they called? You know what I mean? Yeah, the droid from it, for sure. Did you say Darth Vader? Yes, Darth Vader is in Star Wars Outlaws. I don't think that's a spoiler. This game came out like 7 months ago, 8 months ago. Yeah. Yeah. Poor Twilight dancers in the Star Wars. Oh my God. Commando droids. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. That's crazy. I miss Star Wars Galaxies. Yes, that's sort of what Star Wars Galaxies was in a way. It was an online version of a Star Wars game. That's what we've been missing. I mean, Battlefront 2 came out in what? 2017? Something like that? 2018? And that was the last multiplayer Star Wars game we've ever received. That's insane. Yes, the Jedi games are spectacular. I mean, Cal Kestis is an incredible character. But I'm a guy who likes to play with my friends. I'm a guy who likes to play with the community and play just fun online games. I love Marvel Rivals right now. Marvel Rivals is so good. I like Rocket League. I like Fortnite. I like Apex Legends. I like all these multiplayer games. We need a Star Wars multiplayer game. Yes, Battlefront still holds up. It's still a good game, but give us Battlefront 3. Give us an updated version with new characters and new maps and all this stuff. Something that's fun to play with the people. Play with the friends, you know? An online game will be awesome. Need a Mando game? A Mando game would be cool. Yeah. Mike, you need to play the Star Wars Outlaws Wildcard DLC. Yeah, I know. I haven't gotten around to it. Yeah. You should get a GTA-style game where you decide whether you want to be a Jedi, Sith, bounty hunter, smuggler, or pirate, and you get to go on missions to level up throughout. That would be incredible. I mean, that right there. In a pitch meeting, yes. Sign me up. The people who love Star Wars games, yeah, exactly. Is it available on PlayStation 4? I don't think so. I think it's only on the new generation of consoles, but yeah. How do we get so off topic, chat? How do we do this? Okay, but let's get back to the topic at hand. So, yes, Daniel Logan confirms that George Lucas intended there to be Boba Fett's revenge in Revenge of the Sith, where Boba Fett's the one who kills Mace Windu, not Anakin and Palpatine. And that would have changed the entire movie, but also changed the entire arc of what Boba Fett ends up being and becoming. Because Mace Windu is dead, technically. Maybe he's not. 73% of you say he's not. But that revenge should still happen. If he did survive, like 73% of you guys think he did, then he deserves that revenge. In a Book of Boba Fett, Season 2. Tamara Morrison has asked for it. The fans have asked for it. It should happen at this point. It should. Yeah. But, no worries. We always get off topic. Don't you worry. That's sort of the staple of the live streams is we just get off topic. But let's get back on topic for a second here because we got to talk about Andor Season 2. This second season of the much anticipated Andor show is 2 months away. Today is the 2-month mark. In 2 months from today, we will be watching Andor's premiere for Season 2. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but we still don't have a trailer.
I got a bad feeling about this.
This is very strange. And I mean, it's getting weirder and weirder and weirder every single day we don't get a trailer. We are 2 months away from this show. We don't have a teaser. We don't have a nothing. Nothing. We have a release date. And that's it. Now, what's really, really, really strange to me, and somebody please, if a trailer drops at some point in this live stream, tell me in the chat, please. That would be fantastic. It would be awesome. Don't mess with me and make me go look for one that doesn't exist. Don't get my hopes up. Don't make me excited for nothing to actually be there. But if it does happen, let me know. Okay. But Jordan Rennie with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that, Jordan. Says, if Mace survived, I'm so curious what he's been up to all this time. Me too. Could he have just gone off into hiding like Obi-Wan did or Yoda did? I guess that makes sense because those two Jedi did as well. But he must have been doing something important. Also tending to his wounds and maybe being hunted down by Vader would be pretty cool too. But going back to Andor Season 2. So we are 2 months away now. And we got nothing. Nothing. We do have footage, I guess, true. We had that sort of, 7-second clip from the trailer from projects coming in 2025. But here we are from Disney Plus. So here we are sitting here like this. I would like to see the Andor trailer. I don't know what's the plan here. Like, what are we waiting for? You know, where is the trailer? Is Kino Loy still getting ready to jump in? Well, the rumor is that Kino Loy will be in the second season, which means although he couldn't swim, he somehow made it off that facility, or he's still a prisoner. I don't know. Okay, March 4th. Let's talk about this. When do you guys think we will get this first trailer? It's been a long, long time coming, but when do you think we will get the trailer? I thought it would have been this week. This week has come to an end today. This is the end of the week. You know, weeks end on Saturdays, chat. That's crazy. So we are 2 months away from the Andor show and still no teaser. JC brings up a great question, actually. Why am I concerned about no trailer? It's a valid question. Oh, so Jacob. Oh, thanks. Okay. It's a valid question. Why am I concerned about there being no trailer? I wasn't. I really, really wasn't about maybe a week ago. And then as this week went on, because it's the 2-month mark, it became concerning. Some fans think that this might mean that there's going to be a, delay for the show. I don't think that's the case. I know because Star Wars Celebration is right around that time that they won't push the show back. I hope. I mean, it would look pretty bad at that point. I don't think there's going to be delays. But my reason that I'm concerned about there being a teaser trailer, is the word I was looking for there, no teaser trailer for Andor Season 2, is because of every other show that came before it. 4 or 5 months before every live-action Star Wars show, there was a teaser trailer. And then about, 1.5 months or 2 months before, we got an official trailer. We haven't gotten either for this Andor Season 2 show. Now, the concern is that we might not ever get one. And that would be insane. I don't see a world where they would do that. But some fans, and tell me if it's you in the chat, would prefer it that way. Would prefer that we never see trailers because it gives too much away. I disagree with that completely, but it's some fans' opinions. And maybe Lucasfilm is listening. I don't know. Not March 4th because Daredevil comes out on March 4th. True. Well, that's the thing, too. Some people thought that we didn't get the trailer because of Captain America 4. Because Captain America 4 was in theaters. They didn't want to overlap their hype for different projects. I think that's dumb. I think that's really, really stupid. Because when you think about it, Marvel and Star Wars, although they're both owned by Disney, are completely different franchises. Yes, there are some fans who are fans of both, myself included, but there are some that aren't. There's some fans of Star Wars that have never seen a Marvel movie. So I don't think the two are really connected to too much. And now the problem and the concern that I have is that Daredevil Born Again comes out this week, next week. So with that coming out next week, if the same logic can be put onto that project, then they won't be hyping up Andor Season 2 because they'll be trying to hype up Daredevil. So that's the concern. The concern is that there's either going to be no trailer or they're trying to move around Marvel, which is never a good idea. But oh my God, Jordan with a very generous $20 hauler. Holy crap, Jordan. What, did you win the lottery or something? God. Said Lucasfilm, if you're watching, and we know that you are, release the trailer, damn it. I couldn't have said it better myself. I could not have said it better myself. Thanks, Jordan. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. If you're there, Samantha, hi. Samantha is not here today. No, she's not. But I will relay the message. Okay. Yeah, so that's the whole deal. I just want to sit here and refresh Twitter for one quick second just to make sure, just to double check. No, okay. No, I was just checking. Just double checking that there was no trailer yet. Can a man dream? Damn it. Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. That was a fan-made trailer. Sorry, chat. I'm seeing nothing. Okay. Let's get back to the topic then. So, this is an article that I want to bring up about the possible downside of the fact that we haven't seen a trailer yet. Let's take a look at this. Andor Season 2 trailer delayed and delay fans, the flames, of fans' anxieties and speculation. So this is why we are losing our minds. Zoom in a little bit. Oh, much better. Andor Season 2 trailer should have been here by now. At least that's what many Star Wars fans firmly believe, myself included. While scrolling through social media the last few days, especially around the time of the Super Bowl, you'll find that Star Wars fans are bewildered by the delay behind the highly anticipated final season's trailer of Andor. Really. The comments show... Oh, hang on. Super chat. Jordan again. Holy crap, Jordan. Said, with a $5 holla says, if Disney releases the trailer now, they can put it in front of all the other projects in cinemas. That's why it's dumb marketing. Well, honestly, Jordan, I gotta disagree with you on this one. Usually they don't release show trailers in front of movies. Yeah. So that's not really a concern. But since I was so rudely interrupted from my nice article reading, God, can I get back to it now? Okay. Where was I? Oh, the comments show a certain level of anxiety, but very few fans are ready to say the quiet part out loud. The truth is that Andor Season 2 completed filming months ago. Season 2 cost nearly $292 million, so Lucasfilm has undoubtedly pulled out all the stops to ensure that the show ends in the most memorable way possible. The question is, what causes for the delay for this trailer? By the way, these numbers are not wrong. Lucasfilm spent the most amount of money they've ever spent on a Star Wars project last year with this second season of Andor, with almost $300 million. So they're not pulling any punches here. They are not pulling any punches. They are really going for it with this second season and hoping that they can catch fire in a bottle here. Or catch lightning. That's not fire in a bottle is not a saying. Lightning in a bottle. Disney has already shown footage for Andor Season 2 at various events, including D23 and at Star Wars Celebration in 2023. 2 years ago, chat. 2 years ago, they showed footage of Andor Season 2 at Star Wars Celebration. And we don't have enough footage for a trailer now? What? The grainy footage circulated online, and Disney had even included second-long clips from Season 2 in various 2025 promotional videos. However, with February nearly over, the show's premiere is set for April 22nd. The official trailer should have dropped by now, or even at least a teaser trailer should have dropped by now. Andor Season 2 won't have an easy time in April, as it is up against The Last of Us Season 2, which stars Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian himself. This might be one of the reasons that Lucasfilm has yet to release the trailer. Maybe they are rethinking whether April 22nd is the right time to release the show that costs nearly $300 million. Again, I don't know if this is the case. I don't think they're scared of The Last of Us or scared of any of these other projects, but maybe. With so much goodwill, praise from the fans and critics, and money invested into Season 2, it would be a shame if the series didn't get better views than its first installment. We've talked about this a ton before, but Season 1 of Andor is still one of the lowest viewed Star Wars projects to date. So the hype for Andor Season 1 or Season 2, although high, it's not really by a lot of people because not a lot of people watched the first season. The Andor Season 2 is expected to surpass the predecessor's success while outperforming the last Star Wars live-action series, The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. That's not really that hard, as Skeleton Crew and The Acolyte are both two of the lowest viewed Star Wars projects, Skeleton Crew being the lowest viewed Star Wars project to date. Although, the exact reason for the delay isn't known yet. Andor Season 2's trailer desperately needs to hit the right notes, which might be why there's the delay. Disney faces a dilemma. Should Andor Season 2's trailer cater to the fans in the first season's political drama or appeal to the broader Star Wars fan base? The Season 2, exploring the Rebel Alliance's formative years, the tone may shift closer to a Star Wars Rebels type show. The challenge is to balance the Rebellion era nostalgia with the gritty realism that defined Season 1. So they don't want to sort of cater to one side or the other, is what they're sort of implying here. Because Season 2 will have those cameos. It will have the credits. It will have the K2SOs. It will have connections to Rogue One. And it will have less of its own sort of story as it sits, I guess. Andor Season 2 trailer is particularly crucial given the lengthy wait for a significant investment of the series, almost $300 million. I hope the trailer will successfully target the broad Star Wars fan base and tap into the original trilogy's nostalgia, much like Rogue One successfully did, and of course, Andor Season 1 successfully did as well. While some fans didn't enjoy Season 1's style, Season 2's narrative ties to Rogue One, a Star Wars story, present an opportunity to draw in fans from every era, making the trailer's impact all that more critical. So honestly, they're not wrong here. The importance of this trailer is enormous. The amount of money that they've put into this show, they need it to be a success, and it's sort of the final piece to the puzzle of the original trilogy era. You have Andor Season 1. You have Rogue One. You have the entire original trilogy. You have Star Wars Rebels. You have all this story set in this era. But Andor Season 2 is almost the final missing piece to the puzzle. And a lot is riding on it. It has to connect Andor Season 1 to Rogue One, and Rogue One to the movies. But the trailer itself has to get fans extremely hyped up. So a lot is riding on it. But the fact that we don't have a trailer yet is not helping either. No, it is not. I think Bail Organa will appear in Andor Season 2. I hope so. Let's not forget that we know quite a bit about the second season of Andor Season 2. I mean, we do and we don't. We don't know anything really about the plot, but we do know that Krennic will be in it. We do know that K2SO will be in it. We know that Yavin 4 will be in it. The Rebel base from A New Hope, from Rogue One, will be in it, which leads to possible appearances of characters like Bail Organa, especially because Mon Mothma's so involved, and Bail and Mon are very close. Possible appearances of Leia Organa, or the Ghost crew, Harrison Dula, Chopper, the Ghost itself. There's a lot of possibilities for pretty cool cameos, but Andor Season 2, we don't know much when it comes to plot. I mean, we didn't know much going into Andor Season 1, and it was a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Hopefully Andor Season 2 will be the same way. Yeah. Mike, will it bring in numbers to Disney Plus? I hope so. There's the whole big news article going around that 700,000 accounts have been removed from Disney Plus. A lot of that is, of course, because there's no Disney Plus shows coming out right now. I think not a lot, but some of those were bot accounts. I think they were cleaning house. But even still, the biggest thing is that they've lost subscribers because of the lack of content. Right now, there's really nothing going on Disney Plus. Now, fast forward about a week from now, you'll have Daredevil Born Again, and then you'll have Andor Season 2. But when you have this lull of content for Star Wars and for Marvel, just for content in general, you have people losing their memberships. Now, the question comes, will they come back? It's much like the channel we have here. We have about 70, almost 80 people watching right now. When we were watching Skeleton Crew, it was like 100, 150, 200, 300 people during live streams. It was crazy. It was awesome. It's awesome. And this is awesome too. But there's a fraction of the amount of people here because there's no show going on. So you guys pretty much, I guess, unsubscribed. You don't unsubscribe, obviously, because you love me, of course. But it's just like Disney Plus. You don't want to pay money because you don't have to pay money to watch me. You can if you want, but you don't have to. You have to pay money to watch Disney Plus. So people go away because there's no shows coming out right now. And then they come back for when the shows are coming out. Much like the channel here. We will hopefully be getting back to those numbers once Andor Season 2 comes out as well. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's catch fire in a can. I'm pretty sure it's lightning in a bottle, no? I don't know. I hope that Season 2 will be good. Me too. I can't wait for Season 2. Me either. Actually, let's put up a poll here. Because this poll is still about Mace Windu. I forgot. 70% of you guys, by the way, do think that Mace Windu could have survived, which is pretty wild. Okay, let's do this. Do you think we will get an Andor Season 2 trailer before March? So March is in about, what, 6 days? 6 days. Do you think we will get the trailer before March? So this coming week. What do we think? What do we think? Star Wars Jedi chat, what's up? Ron, how we doing? What do we think? The math is not mathing. No, it's not. Imperial March, pretty good. I like that a lot, actually. Interesting. Right now, the majority of you guys, by 53% to 47, 53% of you say no. You don't think it'll come out before March. Think about how crazy this is, chat. Do you understand what's going on here? This is the 2-month mark till this show premieres. We don't even have a teaser trailer. This has never happened before. This is unmarked territory here. We've entered a no trespassing zone. The 2-month mark. No teaser. The trailer will come out on Freddy's birthday. When's Freddy's birthday? I don't know, chat. Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate that. I don't see any normies caring about Season 2. It depends, because I think a lot of normies sort of got into Andor Season 1 after word of mouth got around that this show's really, really good. So it does take the show to be good, obviously, and fans to tell other fans that it's good. Yeah. That's very interesting. You guys don't think it'll come out before March? I get that there's only a couple days until March, 6 days until March, but you're talking about less than 2 months until this show airs is when we'll be getting the first footage, or trailer, I guess, from the show. I don't know. The mind of Lucas with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that, Lucas. Says, keep in mind that advertising is an additional expense beyond production cost. True. Maybe they're cutting back on advertising to keep expenses down. I think that's a mistake, though, Lucas. You might be right because it costs so much to make this second season of the show, but that's a mistake. You want the most amount of people to know that the show is coming. You want people to get hyped up for it. Even a small trailer that probably doesn't even cost much to cut together. I could do it if you want. Probably not that well, but I could do it. Even a small trailer with a few new scenes, few little Easter eggs and little snippets and whatever will get fans so ridiculously excited for this show, and it would spark the speculation for months, the months leading up. We're going to get very similar advertising, I think, to Skeleton Crew or The Acolyte, where a lot of the trailers or 20-second, 30-second reels or YouTube shorts that they post on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff that they've done with Skeleton Crew and The Acolyte, I think those are all going to be released like every single day like they were before, because those don't really give much away, and they're usually the same scenes. It doesn't probably cost them much to make at all. But a big trailer needs to happen. A 2-minute, 1.5 minute even trailer of almost explaining what's going to happen in this show. It even has to explain how the show's going to work because most fans don't know. Most fans don't even understand that it's going to span across 5 years. Each 3 episodes is going to be a new year. Your birthday's the 27th? Nice. Hopefully it drops on your birthday, Freddie. That'd be nice. I got a strange suspicion. Okay, before you say, Mike, you had a strange suspicion last week. I did, okay? But I got a strange suspicion that this Monday or Tuesday is the day. That's usually the time of week when they like to post these trailers. I know sometimes it varies. Sometimes it's a Thursday. Sometimes it's who knows? But Mondays and Tuesdays seem to be the days. And this Monday or Tuesday seems logical. You're 2 months away. Lucasfilm, if you're watching and we know that you are, let's make it happen. Shall we? Let's make it happen. Yes, the release date is April 22nd. You are correct. Rumor says Andor Season 2 trailer will drop in the first week of March 4th or March 7th, since Disney likes to drop them on Tuesdays and Fridays. Fridays, really? I feel like it's more Mondays and Tuesdays, but maybe you're right. That is a rumor I've been seeing online, first week of March. The only reason I don't think that's the case is because of Daredevil Born Again. Daredevil Born Again premieres on March 4th. So I don't know if they would put those two up against each other. Now, maybe they do it because they could put a trailer before Daredevil Born Again. No, Daredevil Born Again. But I don't know. I really don't. 50 Thunder with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that. Says, I realized your light won't come on right now, but how about switching on Chopper for a few seconds, please? Just for you, 50 Thunder. I will definitely do that. Chopper, please tell me you're not dead too. Hang on. Let's find out. Oh, there he is. I thought he was dead. Do you want to talk to the people, Chop? Okay. Look, he's even got like his arm comes out like this so he can punch me in the face. His arms actually move around here too. Pretty wild, right, Chop? What's really funny too is when I got this chopper, I went to California. And I got him at Disneyland or Disney World. Land. I got him at Disneyland, and that was the day that the Acolyte trailer dropped. So the day that the Acolyte trailer dropped, I was literally on my way, or I just got into California. And of course, I scheduled all these shorts to post and all that stuff, but at the time I was so mad because I could not cover it. Give me a 1 into the chat if you remember this, if you were around the channel at this time, because this was a wild time. Remember we had a live stream that I deleted after because it was so poor quality? The audio was good because I brought my microphone with me, but I was doing it off of a MacBook, and the MacBook's visual quality was so bad that we couldn't even like see me. And I was just sitting there talking on the mic. Did any of you guys remember that? Were any of you guys around for that? I don't know. It was crazy. And then I deleted it after, but we had to talk about it. We did an emergency live stream as I was in California to talk about the Acolyte trailer premiere. It was a whole thing. I didn't even get to do a trailer breakdown. It was ridiculous, but Chopper did come out of it. So it wasn't all a loss. Yeah. Okay. Dom with a very generous $10 holla. I appreciate that, Dom. I really, really do. Says, nothing to ask. Just keep up the good work. May the force be with you guys. I appreciate that, Dom. I really, really do. I am working real hard. I actually got to finish the What If tonight so that I can post for tomorrow. Finally, I know, the long-awaited What If Mace Windu killed Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith will be coming out tomorrow. So don't miss out on that. That's going to be an awesome What If. The return to What Ifs on the channel, as we did some before Skeleton Crew. But the return to What Ifs, and this is a good one. This is a really, really good one. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But I appreciate it, Dom. I really, really do. Jordan with a very generous $2 haul says, Chopper, when is the trailer release? Chop? He doesn't know. But will you be in Andor Season 2? He says he signed an NDA. He can't talk about it. Okay, so there you go. Yeah. Okay, enough. You're too loud and obnoxious. Okay. Where was I? Rachel, what's up? Says, I don't know, and I don't really care that there is no trailer. It just keeps me in suspense. All I need, because Tony Gilroy is a good writer. I know the show is going to be good. I have all faith in the world that this is going to be a great second season. I just think that for normie fans and people who aren't excited for this show, they're going to have to get hyped up. And that's what the marketing is for. It's not for the people who are going to watch everything. It's not for us. Yes, it's for us to sort of dissect every frame of it, because we will, looking for Easter eggs, looking for clues, which we will. But it's for the people who don't watch everything. It's for the people who are hesitant on whether or not they're going to watch Andor Season 2. That's what the trailers are for, you know? Mike, when's your birthday? It's May 30th. May 30th. Yeah, it's not for a while. Yeah. I'd rather a good show with no trailer than a bad show with all the trailers in the world. I agree, but what about a good show with all the trailers in the world? It doesn't have to be one extreme or the other, you know? March 13th is your birthday? Nice. We got a lot of March birthdays in the chat, and a lot of February ones too. I don't see how a trailer releasing this month, or I don't see a trailer releasing this month. Disney could be rethinking to actually postpone Andor Season 2 sometime into May, which would suck. That's probably why the trailer is taking so long. I hope not. The thing is, they have Star Wars Celebration perfectly on April 18th to 20th to hype up fans for Andor Season 2 on the 22nd. If they have to postpone, that's just going to be a bad, bad look. And I really hope it doesn't happen. Yeah. Yeah. Mike says, another Mike who loves Star Wars says, Mike, your birthday is the same as my mom's? Maybe I am your mom. Ever think about that? Maybe I am your mom. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you better not forget my birthday. Hopefully there's more action in a Season 2 of Book of Boba Fett. I agree with that. Okay. But let's go to what we do have from Andor Season 2. It's not much, but this poster is actually pretty cool. Let me pull this up. This is a poster that's sort of surfaced online. It's pretty cool. I don't even know if it's fan-made or not. It looks like it could be, but I don't know. It's got Cassian standing in Coruscant, which is pretty cool. In the comments, it says that it's on Amazon, so it might not be. It's one of the posters, a part of the Andor Season 2 merch line that just came out. Again, I don't know if this is real. Yeah, I don't know. It says it's an official licensed poster, but I don't know. But either way, it's still a pretty cool poster, and it's got Cassian in Coruscant. This is not the first time that we've seen Cassian on Coruscant for promotion for this show. Let me show you what I mean. When you look at all these images, where was it? This is still my favorite. You got Luthen, you got Mon Mothma with stormtroopers behind them. That's so badass. You got Krennic there. Some people think that this could be Coruscant. You got sort of the Coruscantian place around them, but I don't think it is. Well, where is it? Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Jordan Rennie with an $100 hauler. You are absolutely insane, Jordan. Oh my God. You just made my day. I appreciate that, Jordan. I really, really do. That is so insanely generous. And he says, release the What If trailer. You know what? I will give you guys a trailer for the What If just because of Jordan. All right. I'll give you guys a trailer for tomorrow's What If. That's insane, Jordan. You are absolutely insane. I appreciate that quite a bit. All right. Look, just because Jordan is so generous, we're going to do this. We're going to do this just for you guys. Jordan's insane. But, okay, let's do this. I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek at